So the term discourse, make no mistake, the term discourse power for global community is what propaganda is for China domestically. Propaganda is not a bad term in China. It's actually a positive term that's not really carrying the morally reprehensible meaning involving false representation of truth. Rather, it's necessary, it's a virtue, it's a critical practice of governance. So when you talk about the discourse power, the literal translation is the right to speak, 话语权. If you read the French rebel philosopher Michel Foucault, you might use something like a discourse power, power of discourse. But if you understand the intent of the phrase of the Chinese Communist Party, it's a little bit misleading to translate just that way, because Xi Jinping's idea of discourse power means that he wants to have is part of the party campaign of telling the China story well, 讲好中国故事. And that basically is very important. That is, he does not want to just have China to have the right to present the story. He wants to dominate the dialogue. He wants to make the CCP's propaganda about China the only global discourse about China. Therefore, the correct translation, actually, for me, about 话语权 should be discourse dominance. So I'm going to use in this discussion in that context. So China's discourse dominance basically manifests itself in 4 ways. Number 1 is disinformation, straightforward. They have basically several ways. One is to use tools of free expression to destroy freedom, and they use Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, sort of questionable there, to spread the propaganda. In 2020 alone, Facebook had to shut down over 200,000 accounts, fake accounts, organized by China's propaganda discourse power organizations. And they also massively penetrated the international organizations, infused some of the communist ideologies, concepts into organs like the United Nations, WTO, and the World Bank. Xi Jinping's community of common destiny for mankind, for example, is written in UN resolutions, and as well as his phrase, Chinese socialism with Chinese characteristics. So this is a very, very sort of a conceptually deceptive and very dangerous aspect.